Hello, it is so great to see you again. This is Ask the Author Friday. Got a few questions here. Let us proceed to chase it. Just kidding. Let's get after it. Okay. What is Ask the Author Friday? Well, a lot of you. This hasn't quite picked up the way it could yet. I am a self-published author. I write in fiction, and Ask the Author Friday is an opportunity for me to get back to you with a few questions. If you guys are interested in following Ask the Author Friday or any of my other content, feel free to subscribe, and for future reference, feel free to submit questions for future weeks. Here we go. Let's go. Who is your animated spirit animal? Animated spirit animal. Yeah, I wish. No, not quite as much anymore. The Fitbit program is actually kind of helping me with that. Starting to, anyway. Animated spirit animal. Yeah. Always living in his head, constantly writing something. Wild creative imagination. Always after the girl. A best friend who really helps him through the tough times. Yeah. Okay. Providing he hasn't grown up some, but yeah, it's about the size of the animated spirit animal right now. It's so funny. Nicktoons for me were the original Doug and the early seasons of Rugrats, and then I kind of quit on Nicktoons. There may be one episode of Hey Arnold that's actually watchable, and that's about it for me in Nicktoons, whereas Doug and Rugrats before Dill came along. Like seasons 1 through 3. Moving on. Admit it, we all have a favorite late night host. Who's yours? Favorite late night host? Mr. Greg Gutfeld. He's the one I'll actually watch is Greg Gutfeld on occasion. I mean, libertarian, co-host of The Five. Usually, I find him to be actually remotely humorous as opposed to the other late night hosts. Gutfeld. Favorite comic book villain? You do realize there was only one villain to ever technically be animated in both DC and Marvel Comics, both, right? Started out as DC, moved to Marvel Star Comics. I want to say he went back to DC. This guy. You don't mess with this guy. I kid, of course. Of course I jest. It's You know, it's a lot easier to ask me who my favorite hero is because it comes down to Spider-Man, Batman, or maybe Iron Man. Yeah, those three. Favorite comic villain though. For Marvel, I have to say it's Doctor Doom. Uh, Always contended with the Fantastic Four, and if you watched the Marvel animated series from the 60s through the 80s, Doctor Doom was all over the place. He contended with Namor. He was obviously the Fantastic Four's lead nemesis. In the 80s, he contended with Spider-Man a lot on TV or on the VHSs that I kept having to rent. DC Comics. Surprisingly, it comes down to either Brainiac or Darkseid. And I don't even like Superman. I honestly, I hate Superman. He has too many powers depending on who's writing him for the day. And his weakness is a green rock. I love his villains, like Brainiac or Darkseid. Again, I didn't really read his comics. I didn't really read Marvel comics. I am going by the animated adventures that I see on television. Be they Super Friends or the old Filmation shorts for Brainiac. Yeah, I gotta go by Brainiac and Darkseid from the Super Friends franchise. They're good. Favorite comic villains, though? Green Lantern. I knew there was another hero to make 2 DC comics and 2 Marvel comics. So, favorite hero is honestly a lot better question. Recreate a childhood morning. It has to be fall of 1990. I'm 6. I would have just started kindergarten at St. Basil that year. I was in the afternoon class. Mornings, both my parents worked, so Kate and I would end up at my late grandmother's house. In short order, I had a television. I had a bowl of vanilla ice cream with strawberries on top of it in front of me, and a television remote in my hand. Because I just had to watch the USA Cartoon Express every morning. You know, old 70s Hanna-Barbera, the 80s stuff that I really liked. And honestly, the Cartoon Express is what introduced me to any animation earlier than, say, 84. Occasionally I would change the channel in honor of Mr. Rogers before turning right back over to animated action sequences. Occasionally the television would have to be turned off, which was just fine. I mean, if my Masters of the Universe figures stayed at home, my G.I. Joes stayed at my grandmother's. So if it wasn't watching TV in the morning, it was staging G.I. Joe and Cobra war games, either in the living room or on the front porch. Somewhere between the two. I did occasionally do some writing and some illustrating at my grandmother's, but listened to some music, played with the tape recorder there and just recorded my voice a little bit. And yeah, anyway, that is where I left for kindergarten from come noontime, and that is where the school bus dropped me off from. I'd fall asleep on said school bus every afternoon. Yeah, without fail. I mean, yeah, half a day of kindergarten was a long day for me. Yeah, took a lot out of me. Anyway, that's me. That's recreating a childhood memory. Oh, obviously at some point in the evening my father would come pick us up, yes. So yeah, that would be a childhood memory for me. That would be a day for me. What is your biggest cause of procrastination? From writing. What is your biggest cause of procrastination from writing? Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm right here. This is me. What is my biggest cause of procrastination from writing? Well, if I could somehow do a triple split screen where I was watching a Blu-ray film and television and playing a video game at the same time, there's your procrastination. Actually, no, that'd be a big time saver if I could do all three simultaneously. Let's think about this. There's your procrastination from writing. I mean, writer's block. Debilitating writer's block. Procrastination from writing. All my stories living up here rather than getting on paper. This has been Ask the Author Friday. If you guys have any further questions for me in future weeks, feel free to submit them in the comments below. This has been Ask the Author Friday. See you next time.